welcome back to my channel, Mythic Rose Tarot. Today I'm back with another pick-a-card reading for you all. This one is a little bit different in that I flipped over the cards so you can already see each pile. We have pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, and pile 4. Today, the question that we're going to be looking into is what's going on right now? You know, what's on your mind, what's in your heart, what's going on in your life, and advice from Spirit about what you should be doing right now. So it's an energy check-in where you can be guided by the animal totem on the different piles. So if you're drawn to pile number 1, this is going to be Owl with Magic. So I'll bring it up so that you can see a little bit more clear. Owl. So if you've been seeing owls, owl imagery, or you feel drawn to the owl, pile 1 could be your pile. And if you're drawn to pile number 2 today, you have squirrel. Or you could be drawn to these chickadees that are here today. Pile 2. Pile number 3, we have grizzly bear. Or I guess you could be drawn to I think he's holding a salmon. So if you're also drawn to the salmon, that's okay too. So grizzly bear with power. And pile number 4, you have snow leopard with self-reliance. Okay. And then today I don't have any crystals to put onto the pile, but I did pick out some bookmarks for each pile to help too. Let me grab those. So if you would like some further imagery, I also have this bookmark for pile number 1, this bookmark for pile number 2 with all the flowers, this bookmark for pile number 3, the scenery, and for pile number 4, lanterns at the base of a tree. So remember, when it comes to picking a pile, I want you to pick which animal or which, visual from the bookmark is speaking to you. Or if you are really drawn to the number, like if you close your eyes and you see a particular number in your head, you could pick based on that. When it comes to picking the piles, if you're not sure, you can always put it into a random number generator. So putting, of course, 1 to 4, and then thinking about the question, which is, what am I going through right now? What does Spirit want to tell me? What's this energy check-in? And then letting your spirit guides communicate through that random number generator, okay? What I want to do, though, is give you about a minute to really zone in on the energy. After about 30 seconds, I'll remove the bookmarks, okay, so that you can look just at the totem animals. So I hope that's clear. So please remember, too, you can jump right to if you already know which pile's for you, you can also use the timestamps below just to jump right into the reading. All right. So as you're meditating, remember to take some deep breaths to really get tuned into the energy of this reading. And also remember that this is a general reading. And so with a general reading, there might be messages across multiple piles. So if you're attracted to a couple piles, that's okay. You can check them all out. And of course, too, if you're not feeling drawn to any particular pile, that's okay too. And hopefully you can check out some other videos on my channel. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. So I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to meditate on the cards with the bookmarks, and then I'll remove the bookmarks. And I'll see you in the reading. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome back to my channel, Mythic Rose Tarot. So this is your pile, of course, if you picked the number 1, or if you picked based on the totem animal of the owl with magic, okay? So let's read this right now. Owl, choose to know the truth because you can. Open your inner vision. You can see through deception. Let the past go and make room for a better life. Rise up. Magic and wisdom are your birthright. Okay, very magical card. A very intuitive and wise animal to pick as your totem today. So what I've done is shuffled quite a few oracle decks, okay, and of course pulled some tarot cards for you. The message coming through today is an energy check-in. What's going on in your life and what is Spirit's advice from you? So that's the advice from any ascended masters who are watching over you, from any spirit or animal guides who are watching over you. That will be who is communicating with you today. So any advice from Spirit, okay? So let's just flip them all over all at once. There's quite a few today to kind of discern what's going on in your life and what is Spirit's advice. So we have, shadow work with Black-Eyed Susans. Druid, hold space. Heart Guardian, love and let yourself be loved. Medicine Mother, honor your inner knowing. Meadow with vulnerability. We have the Innovator. Hummingbird. Death in reverse, okay. 8 of Cups. Isolation. Pain. The sign of Pisces. Okay, Mercury in Pisces. And Mars in Taurus energy. Okay, wow. Let me just arrange everything. Pile number 1, so that you can kind of see things a little bit more clearly. I pulled a lot of cards today. I wanted as many messages as possible to come through, to really discern what you've been going through and what is Spirit's advice for you today. Okay, I think we know there's the owl there. As you know, I like to move cards around, so I'm sure this isn't the final position, but hopefully you can see everything pretty good right now. So when it comes to what you're going through, pile number 1, I think this is your pile if you have been going through a period, especially with pain and isolation, and also an owl's pretty solitary. I feel like this is your pile if you've been going through a period of, I don't want to say darkness necessarily, but basically darkness, or a feeling of like that dark night of the soul, sadness, isolation. I'm feeling a very heavy sort of energy here from your pile today. So it feels like you've been going through a very emotional time and you felt lonely, I think, and isolated from, or maybe you've been isolating yourself as a response to what you're feeling. When it comes to what you're dealing with, what the energy check is right here, I really feel that you're dealing with, maybe you're even going through a period of trying to do some shadow work in order to improve your life and to integrate that darkness into the light, right? A Black-Eyed Susan, they have this really black center, but then from that black center, these beautiful like golden petals emerge from Black-Eyed Susans. And so I think it's kind of really epitomizes that from that darkness, ideally, light comes, or, good grows from that dark center. But you're going through it right now. And I think you've been feeling a lot of emotional pain. I think also loneliness with all of these, like we have isolation here, we have holding space, I think, for yourself. I think you've really been going through an emotional time. You maybe have been isolating yourself as well. I think there might be something that you've left behind, and I think it's been difficult for you to leave it behind. So with the death is, it doesn't need to be a literal death. It doesn't mean somebody has to die, but this is an energy of transformation. Okay, so I think you've had to let something go, or you're in the process of letting something go, but it's been very painful for you. This could be a relationship. I feel like this could be a change in expectations you had for yourself, or kind of accepting almost a new life or way of needing to live, okay? But it's been very difficult. So I think you have begun to leave this behind. I don't think the advice is that there's something you need to leave behind. It's more so this is comforting. This is it's like Spirit wants to send you a feeling of comfort through this dark night of the soul, and to let you know that once the dark night, that you are heading towards this magic. You are heading towards feelings of joy with the hummingbird, and with Meadow, with vulnerability. So once you're through it, you're going to feel very aligned with something, like with this Mars in Taurus, there's going to be something, you're building right now a life that's worth defending, with defense. A very inspired life, right, with Pisces. You're heading towards where you can, be in control with Taurus energy, be in control of your own life more so. But you do have to finish this process of letting go of something with death in reverse. So it has been hard. So this is your pile if it's been hard to leave something behind. I feel like this could be a relationship, or like severe patterns in your life of behavior or things. So I really feel this could be a relationship, or it really could even be that someone important to you has passed away. And maybe it was somebody who you had a turbulent relationship with, where the relationship was not always positive and kind of happy, okay? And it's complicated. This feels like a complicated relationship. Now, it doesn't have to be they've passed away. It could just be you've chosen to let them go, or they've somehow been removed from your life. So that's the energy check-in. You're really going through it. Maybe you're feeling very alone, okay? Maybe you're feeling a lot of pain, like emotional pain. I'm kind of feeling like laying in bed kind of pain, like emotional pain, maybe kind of that feeling of depression. So of course, if you are feeling those things, it's important to reach out to people who support you, or even to seek help, okay? But this is Spirit letting you know, confirming that this is your pile if you've been going through that. What's coming, right? So I think you've been holding a lot of space. But when it comes to the kind of other half of the energy check-in, what's advice from Spirit? What should you be focusing on? Spirit really wants to let you know that what will help you with this shadow work, I'm feeling emotional expression. Okay, with this Mercury in Pisces, I'm feeling Spirit is asking you right now and I'm kind of getting a sense of it being late at night. So you might be a night owl, or somebody who gets ideas more at night, and Spirit is saying that's okay. Lean into that and confirming that that's okay. So maybe, when it's nighttime after work, or after all your responsibilities are done, it's very important for you to take time for this creative expression to help you process your emotions that you've been going through, okay? So what this means is, I'm really feeling like creative expression, like especially creating art, and especially writing. So this could be even writing poetry, okay, to help you get through and transform the negative emotions that you've been feeling, the things that are making you feel pain, emotional pain. And I think this isolation, when we're talking about hold the space and the isolation, Spirit is saying right now it's very important for you to go through this shadow work and to process your emotions. And you can do that through expressing the pain, through things like writing, or painting, or artistic expression. Mercury in Pisces, right? We have someone dancing on the card. So through movement too, being in the flow of really the creative flow, okay, in order to express yourself and move through the emotions. Mercury in Pisces doesn't necessarily like speak, okay? We're talking about water, mutable water energy. And this is also confirmation that you maybe have may have been feeling turbulent, right? Pisces is the sign of two fish moving in opposite directions. And I don't know if you've ever tried to fish or like hold a fish, they flop around and stuff, right? So it's kind of, it's difficult to express for Mercury in Pisces. And that's why Mercury in Pisces expresses through more intuitive forms like art, poetry, writing, dance, or movement, or things like this, in order to get to that kind of sun. I would say there's a sunset energy here. So we have a moon with the eyes closed. So this is signaling about intuition. And I also feel like there's a nighttime energy here. So Spirit is saying it's very important to, or even reading, or like, something like that, poetry. And Spirit wants to let you know too, and also 1 and 2 make 3, so that's creative expression as well. And numerology, a number of creative expression. Spirit is really saying that you need to process your negative emotions, okay? And artistic expression can help you do that. Now, something else is with Mercury in Taurus, you might have some unexpressed anger as well, which is why it can be very helpful to kind of move through these emotions through artistic expression in order to start to find and see happiness in the world again. As well with honor your inner knowing, and with this very intuitive owl guide energy, okay? Somebody who moves through darkness. An owl moves through the night, through the darkness with precision, with a grace, a silence, and a beauty. This is very Piscean. This is very Piscean processing. Pisces is not always about talking. It's about this movement through it's really reminding me of the moon card, okay? Things are veiled, they're kind of confusing. It's moving through, an owl moves through darkness in a very graceful and beautiful way, okay? So making this room, holding this space for yourself to honor your inner knowing about everything that's been going on is going to really help you, pile number 1. So leaning into Pisces related things, okay? Pisces is 12th house energy, 12th house energy. So it's really the energy of the unknown. It's the house of your hidden enemies. It's the house of things really not being clear. But it's okay. So going through this dark night of the soul is what you're going through right now, and kind of letting things that have passed on, letting them rest, and fully moving on for that emotional fulfillment. So doing this work will deliver you to a place of more emotional fulfillment. Anyway, so with Taurus in Mars here, it's kind of, I think the word would be debilitated a bit. So Mars is not that at home in Taurus, because Taurus is a very material energy. It doesn't move very fast, unlike Mars energy, right? You think of this kind of passionate energy of Aries or Scorpio. Taurus is a little bit different. It's more in the material world. It deals with values and second house energy, okay? What this signals is that as you continue, as you do this work, you're going to find that you create a life that you want to defend. And also it signals, with this creative energy, this can signal, this is very good for finances and business, okay? So you might even move into an energy of being more abundant, having something you want to defend. So maybe that's, you're creating right now through doing all this shadow work. You're creating a life that you would want to defend, where you can be yourself, where you can love yourself more easily, invite people into your life to love you more easily, be more heart-centered with this meadow and vulnerability. And you'll want to protect that or defend that. And again, these swords too here. So with the coin and the swords are kind of like fancy swords, right? Kind of in a fancy pattern. So they're kind of for defense or like having lots of these people defending one thing. So basically, I think this means that you're going to, through doing this work, you're going to solidify the values that are important to you. And you're going to have a life you want to defend, a life that's full of joy. And I think also having a life full of self-understanding, and a life full of having, I think, other people who understand you. So you're going to move to a place of way more emotional fulfillment, pile number 1. So this is a very comforting message from Spirit. With vulnerability, right? This is also confirming that you're going to need to be vulnerable to move through all of these emotions and do this shadow work, okay? With hummingbirds, I'm really being reminded of a poem from one of my favorite poets, Lorna Crozier. I think the line, you know what? I want to read you the poem. Let me go get it. Let me find it. I have my poetry books over here. I'm sure I have it bookmarked. There's something, since we're talking about poetry, I think I'm going to share this poem with you. Okay, here. It's called When the Bones Get Cold, okay? When the Bones Get Cold. My husband sends me hummingbirds from his eyes. Only he and I know he's going blind. For him, I don't get old. His fingers, chapped from gardening, sand my skin, bring out the grain he cannot see. I am made beautiful by loss. The moon, too, grows more far-sighted. Its light compliments. The smallest birds don't disagree. There's a sweetness that comes from accepting what I am. Not a mountain, not a river, not a tree. Okay, I feel like the imagery in that poem, I don't know why, I remembered this line out of nowhere, that my husband sends me hummingbirds from his eyes, only he and I know he's going blind. This blindness, right, this moon, this Piscean energy, this energy of the moon of the nighttime and moving through it with something with wings. Things with wings, right? I'm reminded of that quote. Oh my gosh, I don't remember who said it, but it could be... The quote goes, hope is like the thing with wings, right? Hope is the thing with wings. So this energy is that you will move into a life that's full of hope, okay? That's full of bright flowers, of a life that you want to look at, that you want to observe and be in, that feels like you could just lay down and feel peace, okay? But also with the innovator too, I feel like this is a new way of being for you. So you've been trapped in negative feelings for a long time, pile number one, or at least, for a while. And with innovator too, I feel like this could mean manufacturing like a life that is full of joy, and also perhaps creating a business. Okay, this is this energy. So the Mars in Taurus is very good for business, finances, maybe being an entrepreneur or owning your own business or being in control of your own housing, things like this. Okay, these second house type of energies. So with innovator, I think that could be coming in too. So this new way of looking at things, this new way of appreciating and finding gratefulness, gratitude for the life that you do have, that you've built for yourself, okay? This is coming in for you. With the hummingbird energy too, right? This moon and the way the light illuminates things. Light is coming in, pile number one. Light is coming in for you, okay? I can promise you that. Hummingbird is such a small creature, but it brings so much joy. It's able to find all the nectar in the field. So you're going to be creating a life that's just so full of nectar, that's so full of love, that's so full of beauty and ease in expressing yourself. Maybe you find that you've even had a difficult time talking about what's going on, right? That is why it's so important for you to express it through this creativity, even if it's only you in isolation, in your own journal, in your own room with your paintbrush or your pencil, even if it's only you who ever sees it. It's very important for you to do this work, okay? To make it through this kind of moon energy, okay? And I also feel that if you don't have it, I'm really getting the feeling too, if you don't have it, love will be coming in. So like romantic love, I feel, will be coming in, self-love coming in. You'll just feel a lot more love. It'll feel easier. Your heart chakra is going to open up through this, okay? Let's see, is there any other messages? So we talked about what you're going through and what's going to come in, and some advice too from Spirit about what to do. I think those are the messages, pile number one. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I think that's all I'm getting. It's going to be a life full of magic. It's going to be a life full of beauty, okay, that's coming in. with the hummingbird energy, where you can see nectar. I also feel this is a message from Spirit too, especially with the Pisces and maybe writing things down, vulnerability. I think perhaps this is also advice. I'm seeing kind of a list in my head. Maybe Spirit is inviting you every day at night, so especially at night, to write down what you're grateful for, even if it's just the simplest thing. Even if it's just, I'm grateful I had drinking water. I'm grateful that I have a place to sleep. This could be very healing for you to focus on what you're grateful for, okay? And to start to name your emotions and really get a handle on them too. So I'm really getting the sense that journaling too can be helpful as well. So that's just an extra message coming through right there. Okay, pile number 1. Thank you for tuning in to this message today. And of course, if you felt drawn to a message in any other pile as well, you're welcome now to move on to that pile too, to see if there's a message there for you as well. You've been going through a lot, pile number 1. So I hope this message brought you some comfort, even a little bit. And I hope you have a really beautiful day. Hi, pile number 2, and welcome back to my channel, Mythic Rose Tarot. Thank you for joining me today. So this is your pile if you picked the number 2, if you're just drawn to the number 2, or if you were drawn to the squirrel or the chickadee, I would say, as your totem animal. So with squirrel, we have always prepared. You're the expert of hard work and hard play. Your cheerful and fun disposition is a blessing to everybody. Don't let life's distractions take you off course. Make a plan for the future and life will give you all you need. Interesting. So as a totem, that just means right now in your life, probably you need some planning and maybe some more fun. So let's look at all of the oracle cards and tarot cards here to answer the question, what's the energy surrounding you right now and what is Spirit's advice for you, okay? So let's go ahead. Ooh, hummingbird with infinite joy. You may have been drawn to pile number 1. So this is confirmation. If you were drawn to pile number 1, there's might be a message for you there too, okay, with this hummingbird. We have fog. Okay, fog. And effortless with waterfall. The sage. The fox. Air guardian. Shift your perception. She-wolf, unleash the wild within. Determination. And frustration, okay. We have 6th house. Okay. 6th house. 3 of Pentacles. So 6th house definitely reminds me of the squirrel being kind of busy with your day-to-day life, kind of diet. Squirrels are always, we have squirrels in our backyard and they're always collecting food and burying it places, and they're kind of chaotic, but they're also organized at the same time. So that's very Virgo. They like make order out of chaos, and they plan for the winter, right, by storing all their nuts. Queen of Swords. Wow, there's so many echoing energies coming out. We have King of Cups reversed, and we have Sun in Virgo, and Mercury in Virgo. Okay, wow, so strong confirmation with 6th house and all this Virgo energy here. That maybe you are a Virgo, maybe you have strong 6th house placements. We have lots of the number 6 here. Perhaps you are just dealing with a lot of these Virgo themes right now of trying to make order out of chaos. So maybe you're confused, especially with veiled in your life. Things are kind of confusing. They're kind of chaotic. You're aiming for more effortlessness, okay? You're feeling frustrated. So let me arrange things in a little bit more of an intuitive way here. Let's make some order here out of some chaos. So we have, and you know me, I'll continue to move these cards around as we continue with our reading here. There are so many echoing energies, pile number 2. Okay, so yes, this is your pile if you have been busy, if you have been working hard with this Three of Pentacles, if you have been trying to get your life organized, if you've been dieting, trying to make changes to your like daily life, like your habits, your hobbies, habits, your diet, if you have been very determined to make some change and frustrated perhaps at the lack of results. So I'm really feeling that this is your pile. Of course, confirmation if you are a Virgo or if you're going through all these Virgo type things, really. This is the pile for you. So if you've been really working hard at something, so I feel this is with career. I feel this is with career. So like you're trying to work hard to manifest more material success, a better job, a job you're happier with. If you're working on hobbies, maybe trying to monetize some hobbies, or if you are trying to improve your health, or you're determined to improve your health and you've been frustrated with your health, or if you feel like you're not really sure why you haven't been able to achieve the results that you want to achieve. So this is your pile if you've been working really hard, maybe even overworking, dare I say. And the main advice already coming through is spirit, also to with health apparently. So if you're frustrated with your health, if you're determined to change and improve your health, this is definitely for you. And one of the biggest messages coming through is to pause. Okay, take a bit of a break and because you're not really enjoying your life right now with this King of Cups reversed. You're feeling. You're not really enjoying your life. You're feeling confused. You're feeling like things are taking a lot of effort and you're not getting what you want out of things. You're not really feeling that much joy right now. And, it's really hard. It's been really hard. So right now, Spirit is saying you need to, and I think you've also been isolating. You need to take a break. You need to go out and chickadees are always in groups. They can be alone, but they travel together in groups. They're so joyful and optimistic, and you need to reinsert that joy and optimism back into your life. So what this means is you need to be transforming. If every day you're like doing the same workout and I'm hearing in my head, where's my glow up? Where's my promotion? I don't know why I'm hearing it asked this way. I think it's this frustrating voice in my head, like, where are my results? Where is the life that I want to have? So the advice is to slow down. You need to slow down a little bit before you pick things back up again. You need to change how you're looking at your life. So we have some confirmation here with the Queen of Swords and this Air Guardian, shift your perception. This is strong air energy. With Fox 2, you are an intelligent person. Virgo, Mercury, you are intelligent, okay? You just need to slow down a little bit with Fox. So foxes, they're also adaptable, right? They live everywhere. They live in like the Arctic. So we've got an Arctic fox here. They're mostly active at night, but foxes are amazing at being able to adapt. They can find food anywhere. They're great hunters. They move very easily through the world and very stealthily through the world and with so much intelligence. And that's the same too with Queen of Swords. She's independent. This like mother bear, I feel like it's a woman, so that's why I say she's like independent. She's got it together. She is smart and discerning and using all of her wisdom, okay, from life, the wisdom from everything, all the mistakes she's made, anything that's ever gone wrong, okay? So you need some of this energy of it's funny, the squirrel actually does remind me of Virgo energy because they kind of run around and create, they create order out of a lot of chaos, and they're always storing for the future and planning. So you do need to plan, but you need to plan in a different way, and you need to shift a little bit your focus. Let's dive a little bit deeper into it. So for sure, this is your pile. If you're confused, if you're frustrated, where's my glow up? Where's your promotion? Why are you putting so much effort into things and it is not working out? Well, this message today from Spirit is to help you kind of get your King of Cups up right here, to help you find some more emotional fulfillment, some more joy, unleashing the wild within. So really going a little bit more with your intuition and tapping more into your passion as well, okay? So it's not bad to be prepared or to work, but definitely you want to make sure you're working in the right direction. So what I'm seeing too with so advice from spirit for things right now is it's a good thing. I'm seeing affirmation that it's a good thing that you're working on. So maybe you're worried about your health. It's a good thing that you've been working on your health, okay? You need to stop and really appreciate the progress you have made. I'm hearing in my head, the only fair comparison is to who you were yesterday. I think that maybe you're spending a lot of time like looking online, maybe at influencers and things like this, and comparing your body, your life to them, and thinking, why isn't my life, why am I not losing as much weight, or why am I not feeling as healthy and, satisfied as all these people I see online? Because when I think Mercury, I think of social media, and this spread is full of air and Mercury energy. So I think perhaps you're looking at you've been looking at other people, you've been working so hard, and you're wondering, why is my progress not matching their progress? And you're being really hard on yourself, pile number 2, really hard on yourself. So Spirit is saying, stop being hard on yourself and maybe take a break from working so hard right now. What you want and what Spirit wants is to affirm for you that you are making progress. You are heading towards a life that you would want to have. You are preparing for you're preparing really well for the future. You're preparing yourself. You're like fortifying your body and your mind really well. You're just not giving yourself enough credit, pile number 2. That's what I'm feeling. So, right now, of course, like, when you address your daily habits, it's going to take time. You have to give yourself that time. And so right now, this is your pile. If you're really feeling confused, where's my gains? Where's my return on investment, really? So you're kind of up at the edge of your comfort zone with this waterfall. Like, you're not really sure if you're going down the right path, and especially because it's been so hard. And so Spirit is saying that you need to give yourself more, you need to cut yourself a break, and you need to give yourself more credit. And you also need to let go a little bit. So what this means is if you have been doing like 20 hours something fasting every day and like only giving yourself like this kind of thing, like going overboard a little bit, you have been hyper focusing on, exactly what you're eating. You have been overworking and not getting enough sleep. So like running for 3 hours on the treadmill or something at the gym, thinking that's going to help you get your gains faster. You need to know that you're kind of going against the flow a little bit with that. What Spirit wants is for you to get in the flow a little bit more with passion, being a little bit less obsessed with exactly like these details. So like what numbers on the scale or like everything like that. You need to take a little bit more of an intuitive with it. Look at this moon here, okay? This she-wolf, like unleash the wolf within. You're doing good. You need to give yourself credit, but you also need to find more joy and more passion. And you need to change your perspective. So you need to appreciate, see how far you have come already so far. That your work is giving you the results you want. And accepting that it's gonna take a little bit of time. So what this means really is, so if you're feeling frustrated and you're feeling like, oh my gosh, all my work, all my efforts are for nothing, you need to know that they're not for nothing. You are building great habits, and they will start to have a compounding effect. So kind of like as water flows and goes down, things will get into the flow. So what you need to do, what Spirit wants, is for you to start to brainstorm and shift your mental perspective. So if you're saying to yourself, like, where's my gains? You need to remind yourself things like, I keep coming back to weight or like health. So you need to remember that it took more than one day for your health to get out of hand, or for a health problem to come about, or for, just like how it takes more than one day to like gain weight, okay? So it's going to take more than one day or a little bit of time to change your habits such that you can achieve what you want. So you're going to have to recommit after making some changes. So remember, you're going to fall off with your habits if they're difficult to maintain. And what that means is if you're like forcing yourself to eat foods you hate because they're healthy, that's kind of working against yourself. You need it to be a little bit more effortless, okay? You need to find a healthy food that you actually like. Or maybe you have been sticking too close to the same routine. So for example, maybe you're eating the same thing every morning and you're actually kind of bored, okay? So I know for me, I can't eat the same thing every day. I get terribly bored. And so I have to change what I'm eating and have options to keep interested. And it's the same thing, like if you've been going to the gym and you've been doing the exact same thing every day, of course you've reached stagnation and you're confused about, where's my results. You need to actually maybe find a sport. I'm feeling like a sport or something like that where you are, maybe you even go with a friend or a partner to support you. So like more, rather than doing it by yourself, having like a coach or a trainer or a friend who does it with you, who you can talk to each other and, report to each other about your progress. So finding support through friends and more socialization and community. Finding something you're passionate about. So maybe you actually don't really like doing so much time, maybe you're going to the gym and you're doing like the Stairmaster or something that's really difficult. And you're not doing something that's actually fun for you, like maybe going for bike riding or, a different form of cardio that is more fun or social. Spirit is saying, change it up a little bit. If you change up your routine a little bit, still stay committed, still work hard, but have some change and think about, have some intelligence and adaptability with Fox about how could I, and shift your perspective about how you could get there. So again, maybe if going to the gym is not working, maybe you can like join some sort of sports team or like, I don't know, I'm thinking like join a community baseball team or like, go swimming with friends or like add something else. So just change it a little bit, make a plan, this Virgo energy, and change a little bit. And that will help to relieve your frustration and you'll start to see results. So this is also your pile if you're feeling like there's just so many obstacles in your way. It's been so hard. And Spirit wants to encourage you to know that what you do need to do is like rest a little bit more. Water, right? It's going to move from high to low. And so your determination has been a good thing in your life. You are making progress, but what Spirit wants is for you to kind of go with the flow a little bit more, to kind of get back into the flow, okay? Let's turn this King of Cups around. With infinite joy, Spirit is asking you to have more fun. And with Squirrel too, it's Spirit's asking you to have more fun, have more cheerfulness. This advice came through in Pile 1 too, but perhaps making a gratitude list or journaling about the things that are going well will do a lot for boosting your spirit, okay, pile number 2. But Spirit definitely wants to affirm that you are making changes. You are making positive changes in your life. And you are going to reach the top of that mountain. So if you're feeling discouraged, this is encouragement from Spirit to rest a little bit more in ways that are very fulfilling, and that will help you make that final push, those pushes to get where you want to go. Spirit is also saying, I'm feeling an energy here too of maybe this message might not be for everybody, but be cautious with overspending. So just because you should have more fun or socialization or optimism, it doesn't mean, just still be careful with your finances, I feel. You are working if this is more of a work message, you are working every day towards making habits that will build wealth for you. You are manifesting that, but be sure not to self-sabotage that by giving up too early with saving or things like that, okay? So be careful this everyday spending, the work you're focusing on every day. This is there's a caution against overspending here that I see. With Veiled, so the confusion you feel, it will start to clear. The sunbeams, the light will start to come through and you'll be able to kind of see these mountain peaks and reach them. Right now you can't even fathom that you will reach the end of the journey, but you will. You are going to achieve your goals, whether they're financial or physical. I feel like physical fitness or your kind of health goals. So the fox too. So remember just to have adaptability. Whenever you're faced with an obstacle, there is a way forward. Just take that time and use your mind. So overcome emotional issues or issues of that pop up in your life. You're gonna overcome them best right now through socializing, making great plans, and through changing your mental perspective. You know, foxes have dens. When they make their dens, I believe that they make like multiple different exits so that they're prepared for everything. Squirrels, you know, they bury so many different nuts so that through the winter they'll never starve and they're prepared for everything. With the Three of Pentacles here, you're building your skills so that you're prepared for anything in the future, so that you've developed the skills to handle things that might come your way in life or with finances and things like that. And also here, what I'm seeing too, right, with the Three of Cups, it's like people working together in community. So I feel there's encouragement from Spirit to be social, to go and communicate more what you're feeling, maybe journal it, I think talk to friends, find like accountability partners, seek information from community, have more fun. Like this is like taking time away. Like remember, like when you're a kid, I don't know if it's the same everywhere in the world, but periodically throughout the day you'd have like recess, right, or breaks. You need a break to have some joy in your life and to go and observe the beauty around you. You also need to tap a little bit more into having this effortlessness, or doing a little bit more of what you want or desire, and letting go of the tight reins and control you've had. So maybe it means having some like this idea of like, maybe you don't go and have like a chocolate bar, but maybe you eat a couple of dark chocolate chips, for example. So letting go a little bit into what you want. That was a diet example. Or with work, maybe you're spending every day right from sunrise to sunset. You've been working really hard. This is a message to sit down and rest a little bit, okay? With the Sage, this is further affirmation that you are gaining the wisdom that you need in order to progress. So strong confirmations here. A lot of the cards you can see with this swords energy, this intelligence, this changing your mindset, socialization, all this Virgo energy. There's so many strong confirmations here, pile number 2. So this is affirmation from Spirit that with just some tweaking, you are gonna, some kind of tweaking your daily habits, your mental habits and your physical habits, you will get where you want to go with a lot more ease, and you will overcome this frustration and kind of, you know, unfulfillment you've been feeling. You will overcome it. You will see those results that you're from the effort you're putting in. Okay, it's just going to take some more time, and in the meantime, have a little bit more fun. Okay, pile number 2. That was so many messages. You know, I feel like it's just been a minute or 2 talking, but I think it's already been 20 minutes. So that's all the messages coming through for you, pile number 2. I hope this helped you kind of keep up your morale. Your determination is a good thing. So keep it up, and just make some of those minor changes to have more satisfaction in your daily life, okay? I'm really feeling a lot of admiration for pile number 2. You're putting in so much effort, and you will see results. Thank you, pile number 2, and have a really blessed, beautiful day. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. So this is your reading, of course, if you were drawn to the number 3, or if you were drawn to the grizzly bear as a totem animal right now to help guide you through life, circumstances, what's going on. So we have a grizzly bear with power. I'm indestructible. I honor my intuition and go where it leads. Love and gentleness are my real strength. I never give up. I will succeed. So that's the message of the bear spirit right now. So personal power, I would say. So remember, we're looking at the question today of what kind of the energy check-in. So what's going on in your life? What have you been dealing with? And what's any advice from Spirit right now? So I have shuffled a bunch of oracle cards and some tarot cards for you, pile number 3. So let's flip them all over. Oh, we have another bear. We have a panda bear with harmony. Okay. The storyteller. I'm going to put that over here. Shaolin Master, be graceful in movement and action. Shapeshifter, transform and unveil your gifts. Shapeshifter. We have a seal. Fairies with earth magic. Sweetness. Death. Oop. The full moon. Wow. Full moon twice here. Oh wow. Full moon, full moon, full moon. Something is, you are completing some cycle for sure. Pile number 3. Knight of Swords energy. 10 of Wands reversed. And Sun in Leo with fortune. And Saturn in Pisces here with loss. Oh, wow. This is very interesting. Let's put this kind of like this. Okay. Okay, pile number 3. So already I really feel like this is your pile if what you've been dealing with is almost a feeling, right, I would say that you have had, I don't want to say trouble with your identity in the past, but more like you felt like you were on shaky ground. You felt you've been feeling unbalanced. You've been feeling a lack of harmony. You've been feeling that things are difficult, or like you're living for somebody else or sacrificing too much for other people, or maybe even believing in their lies. With this Saturn in Pisces, it's kind of like there's a deceptiveness that can happen, right, with the Pisces. So I would say with the Pisces energy, because it's kind of tricky or veiled energy, kind of unknown in a lot of ways. It deals with the 12th house. So with Saturn there, I think perhaps maybe you were giving a lot to other people, or like having to suppress your own personal power. You were having to live for other people, sacrifice a lot. Maybe somebody, it's almost like you were having to shapeshift in order to survive. So maybe you were feeling like you couldn't be yourself, and you were carrying kind of a heavy burden in not being able to be yourself. Like with fairies, right? They shrink really small, and they are said to be shapeshifters in order to survive in a world of humans. I'm pretty sure in a lot of the lore, fairies didn't necessarily start out small, but that could be an adaptation that they had in order to survive and stay in the world. So this shape-shifting can be, although shape-shifting can be a positive thing, right? You're transforming, just like we have this kind of transformational death energy here, which in traditionally would be a number 8. In the tarot, right? We have this ending of something, this completion of a cycle. Although we have that, and it can be a positive thing, shapeshifting can also mean that you're not sure of your own identity. You have a loss of your own identity. You're not really sure. There's constrictions and boundaries. You're not really sure where you end and other people begin. There's a lack of harmony. Maybe you give too much of yourself. So if you have been like really sacrificing yourself for other people, working very hard to smooth over relationships, and it's taken a toll on you, this is definitely your pile. If you've had to make yourself small so that you can survive, what I want to say is that this is an energy from spirit that's kind of acknowledging the struggle that you've gone through. And that's difficult when you have to kind of, I don't want to say live a lie, but when you can't really be yourself, and you're kind of in an element that's awkward for you. Like with the seal, they're so graceful and underwater, right? They move so fast, and they can be playful and everything, but then when they're on land, that's kind of awkward for them to move around on land. So it's almost like you've had to be a seal on land. Like you've had to move awkwardly through the world. You've had to suppress your inner power, your power. You haven't necessarily felt this forward momentum because you've been sort of living in a sacrificial way for other people, sacrificing yourself, your own ideas, having to believe the stories that other people tell you, and maybe you've been living someone else's story. And it's been clunky because you've had to suppress yourself. You've had to make yourself small. You've had to kind of shapeshift so that you can fit into someone else's narrative, okay? This narrative of someone else. And I think this is changing. I think what's coming in for you that Spirit is saying is the end of that cycle of having to give too much of yourself to other people, not being able to focus on yourself. You're going to move from not being able to focus on yourself to having great fortune for yourself. So you are moving into a very prosperous and happy time where you're going to feel a sense of purpose. You're going to be able to let go of negative cycles, and you're going to have return to your personal power and your ability to lead within your life. Pile number 3. So that's a very beautiful energy. This energy of like being able to access the sweetness. I'm sorry, I paused for a long time there. I thought I was hearing some sort of squeaking or something. So I thought maybe there's a mouse. Anyway, I don't think so. So I think I'm getting to the end of my candle here. So it's making just a little bit of, the metal is warping a little bit. Anyway. You are heading towards a time of fortune and prosperity and being able to access a sense of independence and a sense of personal power you haven't been able to feel for a while. So it's like really a death of old cycles that are harmful towards you, and being able to start to, I think you're going to have you're going to be able to start working towards things that are for you rather than living for other people. And it's going to be like a release of a burden. So you're going to be able to let go. I think maybe if you've been in friendships or like relationships with family or things like this, where it has been weighing you down and you've had to really make so many adaptations for the other person to be able to survive, that's going to end. That's going to be ending. And you're going to be able to release those burdens and move forward for something that you want. In fact, you're going to be able to actually identify and make some of your own goals that you want to do. And you're going to feel it's going to be very easy. It's going to be effortless. So if there's people that you do need to let go of, it's going to feel easy for you. You're going to be able to do it. So get to that mental place where you can do it. You're going to be able to start to create your own story, like be the author of your own story. And you're going to feel that you can move through life. You're going to start to work towards things where you can feel that they're attuned and suited to you. So you're going to start to feel more in harmony in your life. You're going to feel more graceful. You're going to feel more yourself. You're going to have an ease of expressing yourself that might not have been there before. And you're also going to be able to identify lots of goals. I also feel that there's a time of prosperity is coming in for you for sure. So right now, we have the bear who's able to catch the salmon here. And what I feel is that you're going to be able to accept that, maybe in the past people have been able to take advantage of your sweetness and your willingness to adapt to them. But now you're going to be able to accept, my sweetness is part of my own personal power. I am a graceful person. I'm a gentle kind of a person. I feel that you're a very gentle kind of graceful person. I'm also feeling some Pisces energy here too. And of course, Leo, right? So you could have these energies in your natal chart. So you could have a strong Leo, you could have your sun in Leo, you could have I actually feel like you could have your sun in Pisces. I feel you could have your Saturn in Pisces, of course, but you are somebody who you do have a lot of creative energy, I feel, and you're going to be able to start to access it a lot more now and live for yourself more. With this Knight of Swords energy, this is very interesting energy. It's kind of fast moving energy. I feel that you are going to be able to live for yourself more with this as well. And with this, it's more like have your own ideas about what you want to do with your life. And you're going to put an end to kind of living for somebody else, which is going to feel really empowering for you. When I look at this reading, I'm really feeling it's not empowering though, where you're like meanly cutting people off. You're going to learn how to speak and to communicate with a lot of gentleness. So where in the past you felt like you couldn't speak up for yourself, you couldn't tell people how you felt, I think now you're going to be able to access a way of speaking where you can speak into being what you want, and maybe like let other people down easily or draw boundaries. So we've had this like having trouble with boundaries with this Saturn in the 12th house in Pisces. I think you were having trouble with boundaries. And so you had to transform yourself, right? You had to kind of make yourself smaller, shapeshift all the time. You're going to be able to be yourself, be in your own power with this bare and grounded energy. And that's going to be very empowering for you. You're going to be able to keep harmony with people. So whereas before you felt like if you spoke up for yourself, you would break relationships and it was very awkward and it would cause fighting, you're going to be right now finding a way to be able to very gracefully navigate relationships with other people, or to stand up for yourself and have a boundary, and other people are not going to cross it so much anymore. This is also a message from Spirit to take time to appreciate the little things in life. So, and to care for, I'd say, plants and animals. So if you have like houseplants and things like this, now's a time that's a great time to either get them or care for them and to kind of nurture things in your life. I think naturally you are a very nurturing and caring person. And now it's time for you to turn some of that nurturing and caring energy onto yourself and really release some of the burdens. I think you've had some trouble, right, getting to this ending, this releasing of some of these patterns, but you're going to be able to do it now. And I also feel that something I really feel a time of abundance is coming in. Like all your hard work you're putting into something, you're going to be met with some fortune. So this could be like fortunate news. So with the fifth house kind of energy here, with the sun in Leo, or maybe you have sun in the fifth house in your natal chart, I feel like perhaps you are going to be like have really good family life and like have start to find things that fill your own cup. So time and energy to work on your own hobbies and interests, or perhaps even getting pregnant or having kids, something like this. Okay. Starting a new cycle as well. I also feel too like this bear is in a prosperous time with the salmon kind of run. He's getting salmon in the river. Like this is a prosperous time for you that's coming, pile number 3. It's an exciting time. It's a time where you're leaving behind feelings of awkwardness and loss and confusion. You're going to feel very harmonious and like you're starting a new story in your life. Especially with storyteller too, I think that in the past it's been easier for people to kind of take advantage of you or walk all over you because you had that generosity of spirit where you're a sweet person, you're a harmonious person, you're a very sweet person. So I feel like other people, it was hard for you to detect when they were being deceptive. And now you're going to be able to start to see very easily, discern very easily when people are being deceptive or kind of weaving stories that aren't fully true. And you're going to be able to gracefully remove yourself from people who are like that, or from that kind of story, or from gracefully remove yourself from the other people's narratives. And also you're going to be able to not care about other people, the stories or narratives other people say about you. Okay. You're really going to have a time of harmony and prosperity right now. And it's important. Spirit is saying it's very important for you to take time to really appreciate the little things in life as they come, and to trust in your own strength. There is really a lot of that bear energy too. I like how the panda bear and the grizzly bear, so 2 different kinds of bears came out as well. With full moon, there is a completion, but I will say that this is like a fruitful completion. Like you are going to be getting what you want. Things are going to be coming way clearer for you, pile number 3. With earth magic, I'll say this is a very magical time for you, where you can start to manifest you are going to manifest your desires, because the 5th house is a house of desires, affairs, children, fun and playfulness and theater and things like this. So I really feel like right now you're going to be able to it's a self-focused energy in a way. You're really going to be able to step into yourself and to enjoy yourself and your own company, and fill your life with things that make you feel more happy. And you're going to be moving away from feelings of loss, confusion, boundarylessness, and things like this. And you're also going to be starting on a new path that will lead to a lot of fortune. So I feel there will be some monetary security, and especially a bear, right, is an energy that is so grounded and so secure. You will be moving into that energy, and you'll be moving into it quite quickly. You'll be able to get out of feelings of stagnancy and not being able to kind of reach the end. That energy is going to change, which is a very strong energy of change. And trust in yourself. With transform and unveil your gifts, I will say things are becoming clearer. So gifts that could bring you fortune, I think, will also be becoming clearer. So I think you will be able to see how you can use your grace and your love of harmony and the beautiful way in which you navigate and can see the world. You're going to be able to use them for more prosperity. So you might be able to find, like, you might be finding a new hobby that you can monetize, or being able to, maybe not even a hobby, but being able to kind of find a new job that you can really fall in love with, I think, too, in kind of a day-to-day life. But overall, this is more about cycles. You're moving into a way more positive cycle where you're way more sure of yourself, pile number 3, which is a very beautiful and kind of comforting message coming through with spirit. You're moving away from disharmony. You're moving away from making yourself small. You're having more fun. You're transforming. So I would say this message from Spirit is to pause and also to be intentional. Not just letting things run on autopilot and going with the flow so much. Now is a time to be intentional about what you want to manifest, because you are going to be able to have that magic and manifest what you want. You're entering a prosperous time where you can really, your prayers are going to be answered, and you're going to feel personal empowerment, pile number 3. Be careful. Oh, I think what I was saying before too, if it wasn't clear, your ability to communicate is enhanced right now, and to communicate in a very lovely way. So even if you are moving on from other people, you're going to be able to do it, kind of disentangle yourself very well. So it'll be a good time for you to have difficult conversations that you weren't able to have before. You're going to step into more leadership ability and take everything you've learned from these difficult times, and you're going to be able to lead with a lot more wisdom. So you're feeling more wise. You're feeling more empowered. You're feeling way more abundant, and you're feeling like you're going to be able to set goals. In the past, you weren't so sure what you wanted to do, which might be why you were relying on other people, or, taking the opinions of other people and thinking they were yours and running with them. There's going to be an end to that. Now you're going to be able to create your own direction, trust in your own abilities, kind of like fish for yourself, You're going to be able to provide for yourself. It's very empowering energy. Okay, that's what's coming through right now, pile number 3. You're stepping into a very empowered time where you're going to be able to achieve your goals. So be intentional with the goals you're setting, because that's the path you're going to set out on. Thank you so much for tuning in, pile number 3. Of course, if there is another pile that you were drawn to, you can click on that pile as well. And then also remember too, if something wasn't resonating, remember it's a general reading, and so not every message will resonate, and that's okay. But of course, if there was a different pile you're interested in, you can always click on that pile too for more information. Thank you, pile number 3. I hope you have a really blessed day. Hi, pile number 4. Welcome back to my channel, Mythic Rose Tarot. Mythia here. And today, as you know, we're talking about what energy is surrounding you right now. What energy have you been in? And what is any advice from Spirit today to help you navigate that energy? So this is your pile if you picked, of course, the number 4, or if you picked the snow leopard with self-reliance. So this message is from the snow leopard as an animal guide or totem. You are strongly independent and often solitary. Integrity is important for your best outcome. Cloak yourself with invisibility and walk with the shamans. Use your intuition and let your life unfold in silent perfection. So I have pre-shuffled a lot of oracle cards and some tarot cards for you. So let's unveil them right now. We have Grace, okay, with deer. Creator, with a type of rose. Movement. Warrior, be fearless and stand strong. Traveler, move in a new direction. Lots of movement. Opossum, okay. Psyche. Anger and consciousness, okay. Wheel of Fortune, 2 of Swords reversed, 2 of Wands, 9 of Swords energy, Saturn in Sagittarius, okay, with fulfillment, Saturn in Capricorn with riches, and Mercury in Leo with drama. Okay, so pile number 4. Already what I feel is this is your pile if you have been dealing with people who are like heavy on the dramatics, okay? So this is your pile if you've been feeling, I would say, angry or frustrated with the fact that you've had to deal with people who are very dramatic, people who take your words and twist them, people who are dishonest and will not expand their way of thinking. People who have been, who you can't win with. It's stressful to be around them because you're like at an impasse with them. No matter what you say, you're always, in their opinions, like you're always going to be wrong. Or no matter what action you take, it's always going to be wrong just because it's the action that you've taken. So if this is like a workplace situation, you're dealing with some really frustrating coworkers or boss, or just in your life, you're dealing with some very frustrating people, I think, who can be very dramatic. And that's just what I'm intuitively feeling. It's not that Mercury in Leo is inherently like bad, or it's nothing like that. It's just that in the context of this reading, who you're dealing with is very dramatic in a negative way, where no matter what you say, it's always wrong just because it's you who said it. So if with the person you're dealing with, if what you say has come from someone else, they would love it. But because it's from you, there's this unfairness. This is your pile too if you have been really feeling anxious and running over things, especially unable to sleep at night, with this 9 of Swords energy, just this mental torture energy, or you've had to be, as a result, maybe you've had internal anger because of what you've been having to put up with and deal with. I think this is your pile if you've been dealing with people who gossip about you, or if you've had to kind of play dead just to get through the day because what you're dealing with is just so difficult. This is also your pile if you've been feeling very stagnant, like there's no fresh energy in your life. And if you've just had to deal with so many frustrating things. I'm really feeling, this is your pile if you're dealing with anger, feelings of like a lack of connection, dissatisfaction, a lack of movement, being stuck. I also feel that this is your pile. Of course, you could have some of these as your natal placements, but I also feel like there's a lot of Sagittarius energy here. I also feel like perhaps this is your pile if you're dealing with people who have very flawed philosophies and who just don't have a lot of integrity as well. Especially, I would say, maybe even dealing with people who are short-sighted, or like with the opossum, like they don't necessarily have a lot of forward thinking. there's not a lot of movement there, because opossums, when they get threatened, I think they don't have the best eyesight, I think, and they don't really also move very fast, and they kind of play dead when there's problems. So they don't take active movement, really, when there's a problem. And I think that that's the kind of thing you've been dealing with, and you're frustrated dealing with people who won't take action, and the lack of movement. Excuse me. I also feel like, too, you've been kind of torn between a decision, and you've had a lot of trouble making that decision. So maybe it's kind of that energy of, should I stay or should I go? What should I say? What should I do? And you've been unable to really tap into your intuition about what to do. And so this is your pile, and what's if those energies have been applying to you. And what Spirit is saying, I feel, that the message from Spirit right now about dealing with this energy that you've been dealing with, these blockages, these difficult people who gossip about you, who talk about you behind your back, who are jealous of you. There's an energy of people being jealous of you here. With Psyche, you are going to find that now is a time when you're going to be able to break from these patterns. Pile number 4. So this is positive. So something is going to happen, I feel, that's going to start to cause movement. And you're going to feel like you're going to be able to remove yourself from all these dramatics. You're going to be able to make a decision. You're going to be able to start to plan and map out a better plan of action for yourself. And I feel it might be catalyzed through an opportunity to kind of like finally speak up, which to them might feel dramatic, but like you're going to be able to finally speak up and like stand strong for your opinion. I feel like you also might be able to cope or deal better with what's been going on in your life and these people through expanding your mental horizons. I feel like, expanding your horizons and finding an alternative or a different philosophy for how to address it and look at it. I feel like with this Saturn and this Sagittarius energy, with fulfillment, and also this traveler move in a new direction, you might be getting an opportunity to move or to go on a little bit of a business trip, or maybe just to speak to I feel like a colleague or somebody new who has a very different mindset as a result of their life experience. And you are going to have a shift, like a mental shift, because of that. And it's going to take you away from and help you cope better with these feelings of anxiety and that you've been dealing with, okay? I feel like, too, with conscious, this is why it kind of feels like the collective conscious or philosophies or things like that. You're going to be able to find a new sort of philosophy that's not just appeasing other people. So this is your pile if you've been kind of having to people please, but it's, not working, and you're having to deal with a lot of, I feel like, nasty energies. You're going to, instead of feeling like you're trapped or like having to rely on other people, you're going to start to be able to see movement in your life, like a river. And you're not going to have to deal with the same old cycles over and over again, because now things are changing. I feel like the wheel of fortune, it's turning in your favor now, because you are starting to talk to more people. You are looking for the change. You're not satisfied anymore to stay in this 9 of Swords energy, this painful energy where you're just overthinking your interactions with people who really don't matter. I feel your new philosophy might be something along the lines of, especially with Psyche here, like their opinions of me are, not my problem. I feel that might be a new attitude. You're going to take on some new attitudes, okay? And you're going to have, rather than focus on other people or trying to please other people, you're going to say, you know what? Can't please everybody. And you're going to focus on yourself. You're going to ask yourself, you know what? What's going to please me? What is going to make me feel like I'm a creator in my life? Like I'm a co-creator of the universe? Like I'm manifesting things that I would want? Where can I be more, rather than being angry, and angry at myself too for not being able to stand up for what I wanted or be able to make a decision. Like this is an end to indecisiveness for sure. You're going to be able to take more decisive energy and move forward. And I think also like there'll be more opportunities for investment or finance or commerce and things like that. And it's going to take you this wheel of fortune, right? With this Capricorn, Saturn in Capricorn energy, you are going to be able to, I think, reap the benefits and reap rewards. It's time for you to be abundant and for you to kind of get your just, what's owed to you, I feel. And you're also going to be more mentally free. You're going to free yourself from the mental torment of other people's opinions. So it's kind of like a freedom from people pleasing. This is advice from Spirit that if you get the opportunity for like traveling, or like maybe like to move desks, to be next to someone different for a change, you should take it if it's any sort of movement. So if it's like moving offices, if it's like you get an opportunity for like a new housing somewhere else, this is outside of work, right? But an opportunity to change your environment, that's very important. This opossum reminds me a lot of the hangman energy, where you need to have a shift in order to find enlightenment. So movement is a good thing. The stagnancy you've been feeling, being trapped and in indecision, that is an end to that. You're not going to be dealing with that anymore, and especially not so reliant on other people's opinions and words. You're going to be able to say, your opinion is your problem. And you're going to be more in touch with the truth of yourself, with the self-reliance, right? You're going to be able, I feel that you are going to be able to access your intuition more and step into more personal empowerment. With this shaman energy and moving in silence, opossums too, I feel are very silent. They're kind of nocturnal, I think. And then with Psyche too, this is definitely having psychics, gifts, sensitivities to the collective consciousness and things like this. So you're going to be able to tap into the more, to this side of yourself, okay? This side of yourself that is able to rely on yourself for sure, but also to trust yourself. An ability to trust the change, trust that good things are coming, be more graceful, and not, like, you're going to find that you're going to feel so much more peaceful in the time that's coming if you're able to allow this movement to happen and allow Spirit to move you out of these stagnant energies that you've been feeling. So all these frustrations you have been feeling really anger, you're going to be able to release it, and you're going to be able to move forward. Okay. I do feel there's abundance coming to you. So like, you're going to be able to manifest. So with Psyche, you have strong intuitive and, I would say shamanistic abilities. You're going to be able to guide yourself out of these kind of stagnant energies. And I feel you are really moving towards, like, the wheel is turning in your favor. Good things are happening for you. They're on the horizon. You just have to trust, and you have to start to make a plan. You have to start to look at other energies, and you have to want to move. So if you've been afraid to change or afraid of change, just know that Spirit has your back, and Spirit also wants you to trust in yourself and your own abilities. Okay. Something else, I think with, yes, this is a very independent energy. So it's like breaking with the crowd, not caring what people think as much anymore in order to free yourself. So this is an energy, there's a strong Sagittarius energy, strong 9th house energy, an energy of freedom. I feel like a job opportunity might be coming from, that's just new, maybe from somewhere different. And it will be if that is the case and that is happening, that will be very fruitful for you, very abundant, and it'll feel a lot better. And then with grace, right, and creativity, I feel like you have not been able to access your creativity, your intuition very well, and that's changing. Now you are going to be able to start accessing your intuition, okay? And I also feel, I want you to trust yourself that the things you were thinking, so if you were feeling like, I kind of felt like the people I was around weren't liking me, or like the hunch I have about them, just know that your hunch about the people around you is right. So if there's someone around you and, they're all smiles to your face, but you think maybe they're spreading rumors or something behind your back, I want you to trust your gut on that and be able to, like, maybe close off from that person or stop talking to them, because just trust your gut. Just trust your gut. Your gut is correct, and they might be hindering your success. So moving away from that person will be key and instrumental in your success. you're going to find a lot more personal empowerment. You're not going to feel like you have to play dead anymore. You're going to be able to step into your power, but you don't need to tell everybody that you're doing it. You're going to be able to move confidently kind of in silence, like the snow leopard is so silent when they hunt. As well as, deer, they're so graceful and they're usually not very loud. They don't really make too much noise, right? Except for perhaps if they step on a twig or something as they move through. But they're quite soundless a lot of the time when they're moving through the world. And so I feel like you're going to find, like, you're kind of going to get your flowers. You're going to find, you're going to move to a place where you're going to be able to kind of grow your own garden and think about and like set your own philosophies and be around people who appreciate you and love you more. And I feel like you're gonna feel more at peace and more at harmony. Right now you have felt you had to repress a lot of anger, so maybe even to you have been the one who's angry at other people. But I really feel that there's people around you who don't wish the best for you, and you're going to be able to break from that crowd, which will be a really good thing for you, pile number 4. And it'll be some time of being it kind of reminds me of like Aries energy or pioneering energy, kind of moving through the world or kind of in a solitary way. But you won't really feel alone, okay? You're not going to feel lonely because you're going to be excited to move forward and move on from these energies that have really been holding you back, pile number 4. And it'll be very good to get rid of the people in your life who do not have your back, who have been speaking about you behind your back. You do have decisions to make, I'll say, especially with this like 2 of Swords and the 2 of Wands. You have to trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust your psychic ability, because I think you're really awakening a lot more psychic ability right now. So trust yourself in order to help you make this decision and go the direction where there is change. Change is going to be your friend right now. And go the direction where you feel like you can start to be the creator of your own life or access more of your creativity, okay? And continue to work hard. I feel like there is an energy here where you do need to continue to work hard and take your opportunities. But, opportunities are opening up, so take them. Take those opportunities when they do open up. Pile number 4. I think that's it. Those are the messages that are coming through strongly for now, pile number 4. But also remember that there could be messages for sure in other piles too. So if you were attracted to any of the other piles, you can also click on them and glean more information as well about, what's going on in your life right now or any more advice Spirit has for you. I feel like you're in store for a very interesting ride, I will say. I think it's going to happen pretty quickly. So it's coming up quick where you're going to get opportunities to move, but you're going to have to kind of captain the ship. You're going to have to take the opportunity and not miss it as it comes. Take those opportunities as they open up for you. They will be positive. And you are going to end up with fulfillment and with those riches and moving away from the drama and the way you felt trapped in your life right now. And you're going to be able to move with a lot more grace. I will say too, another message that's coming through is to be gentle on yourself, okay? Because it's easy. Of course, we want to satisfy the people around us or, try to fit in. But I think you are bigger than the space you are in right now. Like, you cannot be contained by the limiting place you are now. The place you're in now, it's limiting you. If it's a relationship, I feel like it's a workplace especially, it's limiting you in your growth. So you must move, and so that you can expand your horizons and the limits of yourself. Like, you are not everything you have already been. There's so much more for you to discover about yourself. And truly, I think you've outgrown the people who are around you, and they have not been very kind to you. They have really made you question yourself and really kind of put you through the ringer, I would say. So you have a decision to make. So and you have felt like it's been difficult to access your intuition. So you have a hard choice to make. That's what I feel. But once you make it, everything will become clearer. Movement will start to happen again in your life. Okay, pile number 4. With that, I think that's the end of the messages coming through. So I hope you have a beautiful day. And of course, if you have any other piles you were interested in, now is the time to click into those ones to see if there's any more messages for you. Okay, trust yourself, pile number 4, and have a beautiful day.